He said 5. I was like 4, 3, 2.
Was that in Lawnarchy? It's your man PL. I'm imitating me doing me.
You almost did it. You almost did it.
What?
What
Nah,
is it?
nah.
Yeah.
It's been your man PL for a long time. You just heard the sounds of DJ Jamel Rockwell on the prelude.
Yeah.
And tonight we have a special guest, Godson.
What up, fam?
What's going on?
Man, shit, just good to be in the spot, bro. You know, always good to touch down, see the fam, see the big bros, see the bros. You know what I mean? You know?
Well,
Already.
appreciate you sliding through for the evening.
For sure.
For those that aren't aware, Godson is an occasional contributor and one of the original contributors of the Lawnarchy.
Salute and support. You know what I mean? All day.
He's a pretty cool guy. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Before we get started, like we usually do, let's go ahead and check in. You know, mental, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual. How's your week, son?
Man, bro, I'm just walking in it. It being the attitude of gratitude, it being a space of feeling blessed, being aware of all the chaos and craziness and shit going all around us, but still recognizing that I'm okay and just taking it day by day. So, I mean, I'm just blessed, bro. Just the attitude of gratitude. Just good to be here. Good to see Lawnarchy thriving. You know what I mean? Just seeing brothers pushing. You know, all the other spaces that I occupy, things are moving steady, upward and onward in a very authentic way. You know, not just saying that like, oh, you know, no, I mean like in a real way, bro. Like, just appreciative. I'm good, man. Feel like Ferris Bueller in this motherfucker. You know what I mean?
I hear that. Rockwell?
Well, it'll be very vague and little detail, but had some of the most transformative shit in my life occur this week.
No cap though. No cap though.
Hey, he said that shit like he turned into a vampire or a werewolf
Hey,
for the first time or something.
no, listen. This is the crescendo on on what has been a very, very different year. Like, life is completely different, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, you know,
And it's good, right? It's good. It's good. Right?
we made it.
It's
You know what I
good.
mean?
It's not over yet.
Yeah, but PL's heart can only take so much more. So you know,
Shit, don't blame it on me.
I'm looking out for you.
Man.
It's already a done deal. My date's already determined. I guess I don't know. I ain't worried about it.
I'm pushing for my 120. But on the real though, like, yeah, Rock talking about some real shit though. Like, yeah, you know, like we were just talking, like, it's amazing how good life is and how much better it can get in a space that don't require for you to have to spend more or have more. You know what I mean? Just the opportunities of what life itself can bring, and like, oh, here go another chapter, here go another space, another avenue. And all it cost me was for me to be present and walk through it.
Word.
Dope.
Rockwell philosophizing.
Man, look.
Jaffa in this movie.
Honestly, I even share this part. Like I've never been a non-believer, right? But I've definitely had times where I've been a doubter, right? And I used to say that either God ain't talking to me or he just ain't speaking the same. We ain't speaking the same language. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Woo! Hear him loud and clear.
Loud and clear, bro.
Loud and clear.
Real talk. And I mean, just
messages received.
Having them days of sitting in Zamunda, right? Zamunda 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And having that real dialogue in terms of, hey man, I'm reaching out, I'm seeking, I'm searching. I ain't getting no response, right? And understanding that it take time for things to move in the space to align up for you to be able to receive it and to be able to do something with it.
It's kind of like White Man Can't Jump. You got to be able to hear Jimmy. Hey, look at it! I didn't realize I had a shirt on. Look, hey, you got to be able to hear Jimmy.
I'm in the zone, man. Right.
And I wholeheartedly believe that you knew you had that shirt on.
No,
the piece of shameless plug.
My week was alright.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of numb this week emotionally. I just got through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got through it
already.
So I guess sometimes that in and of itself is the prize. So I'll take it like that meme of the dude that's busting open the champagne bottle on the stand, on the metal stand. But then when they show the full,
he's 25th place.
Yeah.
He just happy he finished. I'm with you.
Hey, so that's me popping a big bottle.
Yeah.
Of blunt.
Yeah.
I can get into it now. I can get into it later. I'll get into it later. Let's see. For those that don't know, Godson is a poet, an MC, an educator, an entrepreneur, and
man, we just trying to get it, bro. We trying to get it. You know what I mean? We trying to get it.
And he's a good dude. I don't say that jokingly. He's really a good dude.
Spends too much money on clothes.
I don't pay retail for shit, but I hear you, bro.
I don't know. That's the pot and the kettle on that one.
I didn't say retail, hotel, whatever. The fact still remains.
I'm just saying, bro. You know.
I've known Godson since probably like 94, 95.
Easily.
That sounds about right.
Easily.
I don't know. We were both kids.
Easily.
Well, he was really a kid. I was just some younger, older dude.
I mean, you big bro all day. You know what I mean? Much respect, though.
I want to say it was at a college, something for MU, when I was recruiting for MU halfway.
Nah, bro. Nah.
It wasn't that?
Nah, St. James, bro.
St. James. Oh, yeah, St. James. I forgot about St. James.
Bro. St. James. Right. All right. 59th to Purcell, bro, already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
And then you started working over at Ward Parkway after me and Smooth and...
Mm-hmm. I was at Foot Locker senior year and shit. Y'all was at
Sports Fever.
Sports Fever, yeah.
And Joker 70 was at the watch kiosk that was in the
Rich,
in front of us.
Yeah.
Shit, Psycho,
Yep.
Trig, he was down at Aladdin's Castle
Trig,
at the time.
Yeah.
Chops was at, I think he was at AMC maybe.
He was at the theater. Yup.
So it was and then it was a couple other people that were working at like Sabaros and
just proximity.
The movie,
yeah.
the Suncoast movie spot that was down the stairs around the corner from Sabaros.
Yeah.
It was a lot of hip hop people at Ward Parkway in that time frame. It was it was a pretty fun time.
It was.
It was a lot easier to spread the word about shows.
Man, I mean, you could actually, put something in somebody else's hand and intrigue some interest.
Right.
I mean, there was days we would just spend days just walking up and down downtown before downtown was developed, right? Because you had different.
There was literally tumbleweeds.
Yeah, I mean, real talk, and you had different areas you can go. You can go deal with, and go holler at different folks or people who didn't talk to people, because this is before social media really connected. Before they did bridge building, you know what I mean? So you could hit up the different areas and get folks to come out, and folks would be like, "Damn," you know what I mean? Like, oh. So yeah, it was a good time, man. It was really organic. It was really natural. You know what I mean?
Plus, the natural word of mouth, just the whispers amongst friends going from place to place. Where, man, that was it.
It was vibrant, and the fact that you could get walk through traffic to come follow your spot. And I'll be honest, from a business model standpoint, speaking from Xanadu, I really peeped that, from you, big bro, and y'all doing shows, not just coming to 1151 and watching y'all rehearse and mastering the craft, because I was transitioning, trying to get into, but the fact that y'all would throw shows and it was so vibrant, it was so live that folks was just like, what's going on in here? You know what I mean? And that made me think about where I'm going to perform, where I'm going to host, venues and things like that. Because I want to be able to pull in folks who aren't necessarily attached to our scene or our space and get them indoctrinated into it, right? Or cross-pollinate, you know what I mean?
All right.
So, yeah, it was real. It was real.
Oh, man. Well, shoot, we was just some young cats trying to...
like we see in the media how Riot Room just closed. And I mean, and there's mixed feelings around that. Like I just speak from a very real space. Dallas is my guy. I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? But you looked at Hurricane prior to the Riot Room as like one of the hip hop meccas. And if you were there on that space, indoors or outdoors on the patio, you had arrived, right? And I remember trying to emerge and transition really into an artist space and seeing Rough Draft, seeing Heat Mob, Heat Advisory, just the variations. And then even as it transitioned through time and you seen Soul Servers, Soul Providers, Psycho, my man James Christo, Salute to the General. You know what I mean? Like, folks really taking advantage of the space and pulling people in. It was dope, and it created a space for us to have auxiliary areas like the Peanut, the Quaff, just things around town and around. You know what I mean? G's Jamaican Lounge. You know what I mean? And that was popping during the week.
Well, really, G's was the place that really supported rap stuff and hip hop stuff before anywhere else.
Already, yeah. Shout out to G. Yeah.
It was a different time period.
It was.
Then, not that he wouldn't do it now, but you just, because of ignorance and foolishness, there's a certain reputation.
with no parameters, because I ain't gonna act like our time growing up. I mean, we were the Juice, the Boys in the Hood era. I mean, we were the era that was like, yo, they killing up a starter coach. They underneath cars at Bannister Mall, right? I'm saying like on some real shit. But
security shacks at Bannister Mall.
You know what I'm saying? But on some real shit, man. But never did I really feel unsafe being somewhere. You know what I mean? So yeah, just real different time, man. And I ain't gonna say I feel unsafe in that regard now, but understanding the propensity for the randomness and the random stupidity is just higher than hell right now, as opposed to what it was. You know,
Oh yeah.
because if you got it, it was for you then. You know what I
Then.
mean?
Nowadays, it's just
Yeah,
somebody's gonna get it
yeah.
because of you, and the person that they're aiming at is probably the safest person on the block.
Right. We've
'Cause-
seen that. We've seen that in the past month or two, right?
Man, because cats don't know how to shoot or even when to shoot. Really,
Man.
it used to be no women, no kids.
Spend some change at the range learning how to shoot your shit. How about that, bro?
All I hear about now in the news is women and kids getting shot.
Man.
I'd be like, damn. Can't see the two gangster for a song good.
But not. but not. But not.
But
We getting to that later. We getting to that later.
yeah, so Riot Room did close last week.
And Pete, it like reading those stories, it just made me kind of touch back into a time where you had Mardi Gras, you had Riot Room, Record Bar still viable. You know what I mean? But COVID's kind of altered that a little bit. The spots on Grand, how they transitioned different names, Czar Bar to this to that, but having those auxiliary venues and like the scene was live, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
If you had enough hustle and was willing to push, you could do. And I mean, and from a Xanadu standpoint, it made us look for other spaces in the West Bottoms, KCK, and again following my big bros lead and the vets before us willing to track the Lawrence, track the Topeka, track the Wichita, track the Warrensburg, track the St. Louis path. You know what I mean? Like, it created bridges for us to do our thing legitimately, I think, in a way some years before it wasn't allowed. And again, that's why I say, bro, attitude of gratitude, man. Like, I think about the space I've been able to occupy and the folks I've been able to work with. I mean, man, it's like living a dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be able to go to a spot and see the crews represent, to see the ciphers live, to see real artistry, bro. I mean, Shadow, Soul Providers, Soul Servers, you know what I mean? Heat Mob, Heat Advisory, Cess Crew. It's just really a good time to see Kansas City's creative collective, you know what I mean, really display its stuff. Kemet and his metamorphosis through the different types. And then to see folks come in and come on, you know what I'm saying, Kadesh, Roosevelt, right? You know what I'm saying? Less is more. I mean, there's a bunch of cats that I'm not saying, I'm just, just going off top of the head, but just saying, like, we had a real scene, Dutch Newman. It was really cats really pushing, gritting, giving. You know what I mean? I felt like we had a legitimate ecosystem. And it could pop up in different spaces and be authentic. You know what I mean?
From a performance aspect, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a proper infrastructure never flourished out of that because, in my opinion, the people didn't want it.
I'm going to address the indefinite pronoun on that since we here, the people. I'm going to say decision makers, venue owners, business owners, right? Because it's an element that I'm inviting in that is labeled undesirable, right? I want you motherfuckers in here with your sagging pants, loud ass music, talking loud, whatever the hell it is y'all do. You know what I mean? Like, I think that created a real direct conflict because I want you in here to make me money, but I don't want you in here as a stakeholder. And so when the space for using you to make money died down or wasn't as relevant, there was no space to insert us as stakeholders without ownership. And I don't think our market generated enough to put somebody in the space of ownership. I could be wrong.
Well, see, when I say that there was no infrastructure that flourished, I mean that there were no booking agents created out of this. There were no entertainment lawyers created out of this. There were no management groups created out of this. I feel you.
I mean, but you know what though, bro? I mean, to some
because
degree, no.
Those are the things that signify that you have an industry.
Okay, you can't say it, but I'll say it. How many industry people did y'all bring? I mean, I saw Jay-Z and Kanye for free, and then went to school the next day and showed my kids the ticket. So, yeah, that was present, but I don't think the reverberation was strong enough. And that's a separate issue. That's a so separate topic, right? Because
hold on, why is it every time you niggas go see a dope ass show, I'm working?
But that's it. But that's it though. That's what I'm saying. And like, and when is it a point that?
Oh, I didn't go see Kanye and Jay-Z when Watch the Throne when we did the after party. I had to work the after party.
Y'all was working.
You didn't go at all?
No, we had some fucking great seats too that they gave us, because our after party was official.
Yeah.
Bro, I was in the great seats. Y'all was working. I'm just saying, like, some real shit. Like, yeah. And I mean, but that, and exactly. Like,
yeah, I remember every aspect of that night, because that night we got fucked. We got fucked. They put a dude on the door that had never worked the door before. He thought motherfuckers were just supposed to be coming in. He's just checking IDs. He wasn't taking money or tickets.
Wasn't regulating nothing.
Nothing. We get about 11:30 when concerts good, just really getting out for real, because they played Niggas in Paris like 37 times at the end of the show.
You're right.
I'll go. I'm like, yeah, let me go get some of this money out for you so we can, put it in a safe, keep you cool.
Perpetuity.
How long does that take?
How long does what take?
37 times. They played the whole song,
bro,
beginning to end.
It was just on repeat. It was just on loop.
It had to be edited some, because that's like an hour.
It's on loop, but
it's more than an hour.
But I feel what Pete's saying, and that is organically we didn't recognize the dollar circulating that we could capture to recirculate for our own shit, because everybody who got dollars from that night ain't somebody who plugs back into our shit.
Right.
Just straight up. They don't plug back into our ecosystem. They don't plug back in.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say that, because we had GLC as the headline artist that night,
and that man cooler than a fan.
And GLC, I'll just be out and about, and I'll see G and be like, "Hey, what you doing?" You know what I'm saying? People's, I'm just down here, you know what I'm saying?
Regular folks.
Business,
right.
just, just doing my thing.
Right.
And, yeah, so no, I will say that the GLC, if no, and, organized, or urbanized, music, shout out to, Chris and Amita. They've come down a couple of times for us and done some stuff, and then have been, exchange shows for up in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So no, we've had that night. It wasn't. Now the people. Let's just somebody profited, but it wasn't the people who, probably should have profited alone. Anyway. But
and bro, I would say this though, that mantra, that lens has permeated and affected how I approach the other spaces I occupy, the development, the community development, education even, right? You know what I mean? Just and trying to build communities, that microcosm of seeing how our industry has people who plug in and benefit from but don't tap into, we see that on a neighborhood level, right? And that really made me think about, okay, so doing this development work, how do I create mechanisms that create a sense of reciprocity to the space itself, i.e. the neighborhood, home association, the subcontractors, the volunteers, the folks that walk up and down the street trying to make a few dollars here and there based off the neighborhood. Because you could bring things into the neighborhood that totally cut those people out. And not even be aware of it because you're focused on the function.
On your objective,
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, bro, it all relates. It all cuts across. And I mean, and that's what I'm saying, attitude of gratitude. I appreciate being in this space to be able to see my big bros negotiate and broker them deals where it sets a tone that says, yeah, this is the level of deal we gonna do, and this is the way you gonna do the deal. It ain't just we happy to be at the table with some dollars. This is how the dollars gonna circulate and get around. And I mean, and that has to be the tone, not only going forward, but just as a standard. You know what I mean? You cannot just be excited to be at the table. Because in this day and age, you can just create your own damn table. I mean, from a creative standpoint, you can create every piece of the equation yourself. Now, to what degree, to what quality, that's its own. You know what I mean? But can you do it? Yeah. We see the commercials for the iPhone. People are shooting movie clips on the iPhone, and that's the commercial, right? Now, how quality is the movie? But can you do it? You got the capability.
The real question is, did you shoot this commercial with an iPhone?
No. And that's what I'm talking about too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the pretense, the context. So if we really gonna sit down and be at the table, we can't be excited just to be at the table. Right? The table gotta have terms that's beneficial for us.
Well, I've always been one that said, let's create our own table.
When it's allowed for you to do that, right? When it's allowed for you to do that.
Well, unfortunately, we black, so when is it allowed for us to do that?
All the time, 'cause that's what we gotta do. But I think in some of these other shared spaces, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little different. You know what I mean? And you've got to deal with folks, who are completely anti-you, that are completely part of the equation. Convenient example, when you think about development and you say you got to have a certain level of participation, we got to have 10 and 5, that was 10 and 2, that was the old 10 and 5, 10% minority, 5% women, right? And then you sit in an office somewhere in City Hall and you're trying to work out the labor issue because the dude who has the checks don't want to pay the dude who did the work. And the reason why is because he feels like, well, I didn't want this dude in the first place. You said I had to have him. And so we sitting here and the dude is looking at him and saying, I don't want to pay him. I don't care if you go out of business. F you. Just that blatant. And here we are at the table. And we could take the attitude of, oh, we at the table, you supposed to do. And we see what supposed to do gets us. It gets us nothing. So again, you know what I mean? We cannot be happy to be at the table. Because the people who force these relationships to say, you got to have this, they got to have that, we need to ensure that they got teeth to enforce the situation that they putting upon us. We got to make sure that you got something in your space that says, I'm making you have it, and if you don't have it, here's a real consequence that you feel, as opposed to being a lip service. And I just feel like right now we just get a lot of lip service. There's a lot of people that's hurting, a lot of people that's getting cut out, a lot of people that's getting left out because your enforcement was just lip service, not real policy, not real approach. We see it in our industry, bro. I mean, like, where are we gonna go and really throw a major, mega hip hop event? We're hearing crickets right now. Yeah, I mean, record bars there. If somebody can rent out municipal or the spot on Grand, what is that? The
Midland.
You know what I mean? You know, something, yeah, something like that. But I mean, but other than that, where are we at? And we got folks that are like into it. I mean, hip hop is the leading conduit for a creative medium. You know what I mean? When folks is having a blank canvas and wanting to narrate that blank canvas or put some audio to that blank canvas, hip hop takes precedent. And where can we go to leverage that?
Well, that's part of the infrastructure or lack of infrastructure.
Right.
Because, and it's also, in my opinion, kind of part of the appropriation of the culture.
No doubt.
Because it's a lot of people that come check out some stuff, or on the, you know what I'm saying, or on the fringe of the culture or whatever, but they would never use what they do for a profession in a manner to
promote the culture,
assist or promote the culture. Right.
Right.
So that's like the kind of, that's where, in my opinion,
like,
the
you know,
gentrification begins.
Like
the culture.
I'll put the controversial perspective out there, and I ain't talked to my bro, so you know I ain't talked to Kemet and asked her no like that. So I'm just assuming, right? If you want to call it that, but here you are, part of a group or a collective that is the first African American brewery, right here. You're in a historic district. What institutional spaces have reached out to you to say, let me assist, in the sense of, I believe in equity, parity, justice, social justice, let me forward that cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, I ain't talked to Kemet, I ain't talked to the group, but I would be willing to say probably few to none. You know, I mean, probably, I ain't gonna say none. Very minimal, right? Very minimal.
Oh yeah, well.
And what does that really say, right? I mean, because again, if it's, I don't want to get all deep with it, but if it's about pull yourself up by the bootstraps, then what are you doing to ensure folks got boots on in the first place?
Right.
Not just leave it at that. You know what I mean? So here are these brothers trying to put boots together. You know what I mean? What are we doing to make sure the leather's right? What do we make sure the strap's tight?
And then when they do pull themselves up on the bootstraps, you make fun of the boots.
You make fun of the boots. There you go. Downgrade it, display it, demean it, diminish it. Right. Unless it's something you can tap into and leverage for your stuff.
Oh no, they still make fun of the boots, whether they tap it into it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. Look at Master P.
Yeah, I feel you on that, bro.
Because Master P probably made more money than...
But not only that, but it made more money for other folks.
Oh, definitely made more money for other folks
You
than
know what I'm
anybody
saying?
else did.
Yeah.
And for that, he was mocked.
And ostracized.
Yeah.
You know, like, real talk. Like, we're going to put him out on the fringes so can't nobody touch him but us when we want to touch him. And that's the guy, I mean, and that's something you got to be aware of too, man. I've really seen that emerging into a public space. You know, folks want to get you to sign up to advocate causes and to get you to sign up to promote stuff that doesn't necessarily have connectivity to other issues that are supposed to be community. And I look at it as if we community, we community. Quarter, what's up, bro?
What's up with it?
You know, we community, we community. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be that strong of a conflicting interest. But if you sign up for this, then you can't sign up for that. Right? If you're over here for this, then you can't work for that. But what's crazy is, especially in Kansas City, and that's in Kansas City, it's not unique. When you go to the meeting spaces, it's the same people at the damn meetings. Same people at the same board meetings. Same people making the same decisions. But given the presentation that these things are really siloed and individual. it just creates a mismessaging or mixed messaging. What am I really saying with it? We want stuff to change, but people are buying a larger narrative that's like, oh man, stuff just gonna stay the same, or you're gonna fight this little small incremental battle when it's right there on the precipice. We just gotta push the issue. We gotta press the issue. Case in point, Tenants KC Tenants. Now, I have my own personal view and perspective about that situation, and I'll leave that to the left. But what I will say in terms of tactics and presence, they are effective. They are effective. They get a response. They don't necessarily get what they want done, but they get a response.
Right.
And I mean, that goes to
what can we do to get that type of response?
Man. And how come organizations like that aren't sharing what I would call connective tissues to make things stick to get that response in other spaces? Because, I mean, here's the real deal. Real leadership finds common solutions to common problems. Things ain't really isolated on their own island. You know what I mean? This is a result of that, as a result of that, as a result of that. But there's a common denominator issue in there. Are we addressing that? Are we talking about that? Like we was talking about earlier, bro. Where do we go as hip-hop folks to have our community? Where do we go to come gather? We have that. We can begin to spark a scene again. But we got to have the space to gather, right? And what tends to happen? Folks are fighting for their own individual space to be the space, as opposed to yielding and saying, let's Voltron up. I'm dating myself with the Voltron. But you know what I'm saying? But let's come Wu-Tang up. Let's come collectivize and make it happen, right? Now, I don't want to yield the $100 I could have made from 20 people paying $5 at the gate to you when I could have got all that to myself. And for real, how many of us ain't got $100 we don't drink away at the bar, bro? Just for real, bro. Just
It can be easily done.
just for real, man. Just for real. Quarter, what's up, bro?
What's the word? Just got off work, man.
I'm just happy to see my brothers, man. I've been grinding, gritting in the cave, you know what I mean? It's just good to see everybody, man. You know what I mean?
All right. As I mentioned before, Godson is an educator also. I'm not going to say what school he's at, but he is currently educating some childrens.
Go Ravens. Go Ravens. I represent. Go Ravens. Hey, bro, Tony's the principal of my school, bro.
Yeah, you told me, and I was like,
You know what I'm saying?
bet,
hey, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Tony Davis, you know what I mean?
I bet everybody's in line over there.
But yeah, we getting there. It's a collective effort. Change brings its own changes, right?
So speaking of changes, has there been I know there's going to be a change simply because, but what's like the biggest difference between having kids in class now as opposed to pre-pandemic? After this, about a year and a quarter of virtual?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you that from a real dichotomized, or what we say, dual existing reality. Real shit, right? So there's a space where COVID has exposed a lot of impracticalities to the workday. And not just in education, but I think across the board. Folks being able to work from home, you know what I mean? Being able to get a lot done and not having to transport, move around, spend time doing that. The advent of, just high-speed internet and technology and communication devices, being able to transmit messages and documentation to provide an e-signature, right? Like, there's just a lot of exposure to unnecessary layers, or I'm not going to say unnecessary, but what has become recognized as maybe not unnecessary layers, right? I think the other side of that too, bro, is the socialization. Right? School brings two types of learning. There's an academic learning, there's a social learning. Right? There's a learning of the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, but there's also a learning of how you get along with other folks, how you deal with different personalities, how you get what you need from folks who don't necessarily want to give it to you or don't care to give it to you. Right? And that component has been lacking. Now, let me say, from a personal perspective, I am Ferris Bueller. Bro, my days are easy as all get out. And if I don't have to be involved to deal with, I don't. Real talk. But I look at the labor of love with my teammates. I look at my co-teachers and teammates. Because I've been a principal. I've been a dean. You know what I mean? So I ran 26 classrooms. And I understand the value of that as opposed to me being able to run my one currently, right? And teachers are struggling, bro. You know, there's a false expectation that I'm going to come in and you just going to do what I say because that's the organizational role. But kids don't know what organizational charts mean. Also, when you think about culture, right? Culture doesn't just speak to ethnicity or race, but culture speaks to how you do what you do. You know, you look at you look at a mediocre sports team culture, and you look at a championship team culture, and it's night and day difference. The same thing is present in schools. Schools that people have to pay for and pay to go to, there's a level of involvement and accountability that you don't have to speak to that's not present in public education. And in public education in particular, Monday through Friday, mom and dad, I see your kid more than you do. And that dynamic creates its own relationship. So if that dynamic of me seeing you more than your parents do is positive, then it works. But if I look at you as a burden, as a problem, as an issue, as a demographic I don't want to deal with, then that's a negative reinforcement. And you have to come here more than you have to come see your parents. We see why teachers are quitting, why students are not present, not participatory. We see why productivity isn't where it shouldn't be. In education, we got this phrase called "made tired." We got teachers that in October are made tired. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and that's
I'm good.
like, bro, like we looking for the beach. You know what I'm saying? It's vacation time, and we ain't even got the winter break, bro. We ain't even got the Thanksgiving break, let alone winter break, bro. You know what I mean? And so, and this is real because alongside of that is not only the lack of social learning going on, but you think about the academic deficit. Well, if I know that I need to sit over little Timmy for real, make sure that he's really doing this, how does that happen online? And I've been doing that for 18 months. And I'm expecting you to come to this environment and acclimate. Adults are having difficulty with that, let alone students.
Right.
And so you're seeing an increase in discipline issues, and suspensions, in-school suspensions, out-of-school suspensions, just a real loss in what we call instructional time, right? And, you know, not to use these big boy educational terms, but from a pedagogical standpoint, pedagogy being how do you do the practice of education, it's diminished because I can't do two things at once. Either I educate or I discipline. If I'm spending time disciplining, I'm not educating. And I'm in a district where a majority of the participants are homeowners, right? Personal property taxes pay for school districts. Listen, my school district is well funded. Next door, the next school district has food shortages. And everybody in that school district gets to eat for free because of the economic conditions, right? We talking about Raytown versus Hickman Mills, right? So, and what separates them is one road, James A. Reed, Blue Ridge, 63rd, 59th, 55th, 51st. And me as a community person, that's all 5th district. Matter of fact, my district going from 51st to 107th Street, Raytown is landlocked within the 5th district. So I'm looking at these real-time issues affect renters, affect homeowners, affect dual parent families, affect single parent families, right? And what's the common denominator? The future is getting addressed in a very skewed perspective. So we're going to have this expectation that kids are going to graduate with critical thinking skills and aptitude that's not there. And it translates to our customer service, our delivery of service. I can't tell you when I go to lunch how many times I'm at Subway or Popeyes or somewhere like that, and I'm thinking, public education got to step its game up. Cordy, you feel me?
Well, I don't think all of that is
right?
public education. I think some of that is also lack of parental structure. But, you know, I don't want to get into...
No, you are 1,000% correct. Because when I sit with families, I have to tell parents, I can do something for your kid that you cannot. And that's provide a free and fair education. So either you're going to be my teammate or going to be my adversary, and your kid going to be dumb in the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it real. Because if you can teach your kid, then keep your kid at home and homeschool.
That's what I
And we saw that last year, how ineffective that was. Right?
I feel like I got out of education at the right time.
Nah, bro, we need you. We need you.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say, big bro. We need you. We need you.
Sure. I'm cool.
You know, I would say this though, real talk. I had a person because of gender and identity issues. I'm gonna say person, but I had a person in my classroom for the past week who is a student teacher. Now, this person is currently a student at a high school and community college at the same time, getting dual triple credit, and so they have an opportunity. And that's what I love about my school district. They create opportunities for real vocational learning. So she's coming into the classroom and getting a real sense of what being an educator is like. And so she got to come in and see me run my class, and then I let her today run the class without my hands on it. And then I pulled her out into the hallway. I pulled that person out into the hallway periodically and had that conversation, and, you know, was just really evaluating the nuances. What did you notice? What didn't you notice? And that person in particular was like, I like how you are hands-on, how you address students and allow them to actualize what the issue is and then give them space to problem solve. Because, and it speaks to what I was talking about earlier, people are coming into the education profession with the assumption that I'm the teacher, you the student, you're going to do what I say. And especially in an urban setting or a setting in which you don't pay to go to school, there's no cultural learning. There's a culture of I come here to eat for free and be warm in the winter for free. And my parents get to act a fool and you acquiesce because you got to have me, because there's this thing called average daily attendance that provides funding for you. And you are seeing these factors come into a play in a way that is showing how unsustainable our situation is. Because it's not that you can't come in school and learn, not that you can't come in school and have resources, but you come in school with a preset that makes that counterproductive. And you have adults that come into the building that's like, F y'all, I don't want to deal with y'all in the first place. So what's really happening? We see it in public service. We see it in government, right? Right? I mean, on a personal level, bro, I got 2 contracts. I got a contract with KCK and KCMO to provide housing in environments in which we say we have a housing shortage. You would be amazed at how much I gotta fight to get stuff done with a contract, right? I'm not no humming and bumming ass person coming in trying to hustle and say, hey man, you know I can foot shuffle and do such and such and such. Nah, bro, I mean, my community partners, I mean, like, CJR is one of my partners, right? They got the largest minority contract at the airport, bro. I got SWD, Strategic Workforce Development. You know, York and Andrew. Shout out to them folks. You know, we got hundreds of thousands of dollars from the state. The state, bro, the last state to free slaves. You know what I'm saying? We got money from the state, bro, to do training, bro, to actually do workforce development. Don't tell me it ain't folks out here working, trying to make things progressive. But we got to get folks to get on board, bro.
Right.
Just real talk, man. And I mean, some of them folks are decision makers. Some of them folks are agitators. You know what I mean? But, you know, I heard this saying from our congressman when he was our pastor a long time ago. And he said, Terry, which is our big brother, right? Because he had a good job of calling people out from the pulpit. He said, you can't agitate and legislate at the same time. And that's real, bro. You know what I mean? You need folks outside holding up the picket sign. And then you need folks that's going to go inside and go do the deals.
Right.
Right?
That's really real.
And I'm going to have Quarter outside with the sign kicking over stuff all day. You get what I'm saying? Because that's his comfort zone. That's where he going to be effective. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to hold him accountable if he ain't out there kicking shit over. You know what I'm saying? But then, when he's putting himself on the line and putting his neck out there kicking shit over, we got to have brothers and sisters on deck that's going in there and handling the business. And not selling folks out. And in this space, I want to shout out, you know, like, again, when I talk about the attitude of gratitude, bro, I got big bros like Tommy Simmons. I got big bros like Kelvin Simmons. And if you know, you know. But you got folks on both sides of the line that's fighting, trying to make things happen for us and the disenfranchised. Folks got to step up, man. Folks got to step up, bro. It's just that simple. Folks got to step up. From a hip-hop perspective, I saw on the book, Reach just put out a new single. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go support it, bro. You know what I mean? I'm going to do that. I ain't even heard it. I don't know if it's good. I hope it's good. I'm going to go support it. You know what I mean? I saw there's an event going on this weekend. Soul Service on there. Gray area, you know, whatever. I can say it. PL can't. But I'm going to go support that. You know what I'm saying?
What's the gray area?
I just saw Soul Service on there. I don't know if he was going to be on the bill or not. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I don't. I haven't been a Soul Server for, it's been a while.
But
That's fam, though.
already.
Go see Soul Service. They're at Blip Roastery.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
There you
Down
go.
in the bottom.
That's what I was talking about.
They
tomorrow
perform,
at
I
8.
think, tomorrow at 8. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. But you know, we can have a conversation about that I think GP can't. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying, man. At some point, bro, if we don't do that, if we don't address that, our shit don't change. Our shit don't elevate. Our stuff don't grow. Because Riot Room shut down. Somebody from our community should have been in a place to step up and move that. Even if it ain't that actual physical space, the proverbial space of. I mean, I'll be honest, man. We still trying to replace Mardi Gras, bro. Nobody will say that out loud because we'll chalk it up and say that's nostalgic. That was then. But when you look at the functioning of what that was, what have we had since? Peanut, maybe? Fleeting?
Well, Hip Hop and Hot Wings was 4.5 years, which was actually longer than Mardi Gras.
Facts. You right. You right.
But it's not necessarily that people are looking for that. It's that people, unfortunately, compare everything to that, in my opinion. So if it's not some sort of similar vibe or similar feeling about the nostalgia of it, then it's not looked upon the same.
Okay.
Like, well, for example, we did the open mic at Zarbar for, man, what was that, about 5 years?
It was a running campaign. It was a running campaign. Yeah.
It is never one of the things that people talk about.
Mm-mm. I mean, you get no pushback on that from me, bro.
We ran 5 years, brought in national acts, brought in regional acts, sent people out on road, on you know what I'm saying, on little mini tours and shit, and you never hear people talk about that.
No doubt.
You hear people talk about hip hop and hot wings. You hear people talk about Mardi Gras.
You know, bro, but because when you can, this ain't even a real word, but when you can cafeteriarize the space like hip hop and hot wings was, because remember, you can come to hip hop and that's what makes hip hop beautiful. That's why I love our culture. You don't necessarily have to be a conduit to be a participant. And so hip hop and hot wings allowed a space for folks who didn't necessarily contribute anything other than energy to still participate. But those other select spaces, right? Like the Czar Bar open mic, G's open mic, Mardi Gras. I mean, I can imagine. I mean, let me speak from my personal narrative. Going to Mardi Gras, I was trying to transition from doing stuff I didn't have no business doing to trying to figure out what I was going to be doing, right? But being in the space, because I knew everybody and folks was like, fam, I mean, I would go to Myron Spears' house, Myron D, and go to his garage and look through the albums with my cousin Brian and his friend Brian. We would go to Thomas's house, Jock Mac, shout out Big Bro, and go through the garage and go through the albums. So to see him or to see them in a public space was inviting in a way that you didn't feel like you had to do something to be there, right? But that was hip hop and hot wings, right? The other areas, it was very territorial, I feel like, right? And that's just my lens. I could be wrong, but just my lens. It was very territorial. And so if you didn't bring something to it, I mean, like when Hurricane was the Hurricane, if you wasn't no official MC, you wasn't about to get up there with Heat Advisory and Heat Mob. But just keep it real. Quarter. Give it real, bro. Keep it real. Niggas wasn't even hearing what you got to say. I mean, Icy Rock lived next door to me, bro. I mean, like, Icy Rock's mom and my mom lived next door to each other. I can go to Sean any day and get anything I need. Anything that I did campaign-wise, Big Bro kicked down for me, right? But in an artist space, if you wasn't in a certain area, you wasn't going to Icy Rock and say, hey, Icy Rock, could you do something for me? Fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we got to have a space that allows folks to just come, right? And then we can extract and extrapolate. But that's not present. It's not present, man. And when we got community folks getting shot down in 18th and Vine unnecessarily, I mean, there it is, right? There it is. And that's different than us growing up and folks killing over colors, drive-bys. We're the generation that made carjacking a federal offense. Let's keep it real. Let's not act like we saints in this one. You know what I mean? Like,
I by no means claim an innocence over our generation.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But
our generation,
but there's still a different context or tone to what is.
Made acting a fool, doing the fool.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? We were that we were that transition.
Yeah.
It was no longer acting a fool. It was doing
it.
But we also had a space that yielded, like, just real talk on just on some real. I had from a Xanadu Media Group perspective, right? Because I always see myself as an outsider. Because I'm not, I mean, again, you got those folks who are golden. You know what I mean? That are really industry pillar. And I've said their names before, and you know what I mean? And I love all them dudes. You know what I mean? They all fam. You know what I mean? But from my space, trying to break in and do, when you got spaces where you can go, like the hangout, right? And I'm in there after, let's keep it real. I made a few thousand that night. I mean, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in this spot, and this team, we in there drinking, doing the fool, and there's this dude on these ones and twos, killing it, bro. Killing it. And there's nobody else in there. And I'm like, this dude playing everything. Everything. He killing it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and guess who that dude is? This big ass motherfucker right here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I met, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just real talk. Because he lived around the corner. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it's like,
That
damn.
was one of the most convenient gigs ever.
Blessing for me, right? Because not only did I get a dope ass DJ, not only did I get to create one of the illest projects called Art of Misdirection. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But I gained a brother though. And that's what the space creates. And that's what I feel like is missing. You know what I mean? In a way that's like is needed now. You know what I mean? Where can us creatives come with our blank canvases and share our sketches? You know, I mean, I'm in the space. I'm working on several projects. I got projects going on with We the People. And that's live and organic. I got a project I'm doing with a Rock Flair, you know, Anthony Robinson, called Alumni. And we actually graduated from Bishop Hogan when it was Bishop Hogan at the same, so that's that alumni tie. I got the joint I'm doing with our fam, you know, Hatterack, you know what I'm saying, J Van, 5/3. You know, I'm busy. You know, we all got stuff going on, right? And the game has changed. So I'm not looking at it in terms of I need to come together. Like before, you would get with the folks, you know what I'm saying, and we honed in, we locked down a couple months, we getting this 15 tracks, we putting together this project, we dumping it, and then we pushing it. The game is different now. You know what I mean? So my focus is I want to create a catalog where I can just dump a song, dump a single, dump some sketches, right? Let me show you what I'm doing with my blank canvas, right? And dump them sketches here and there and just keep it fluid. You know? And that takes a paradigm shift. That takes me recognizing I can't put 15 songs together on a disc and sell somebody a CD in a car that ain't got no CD player. You know what I'm saying?
That's problematic.
It's real talk, fam. But I gotta give it to you in a format that which you can consume and do something with. And that's what our space needs. I mean, a parallel in class when I'm talking to my students. My overarching theme is brevity, because the attention span is that short. You ain't got all day to convey your point to get your shit across. You got about 15, 20 seconds.
Man.
So when I got my students write 3-paragraph essays, I'm like, I don't need you to look at it as 3 paragraphs. I need you to look at it as 12 to 15 sentences. And how impactful can you make them 12 to 15 sentences? What's the best way to eat an elephant? Cut it up in a bunch of small pieces. You can't take a whole elephant and put it in your mouth, but you can fork it out. Right?
Well, I might know a couple chicks that I know a couple. On that note, check your phone. Check your phones real quick.
I'm on it.
We on
Did it come through?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you got.
Oh.
Hey, y'all got son up in here with the fam, you know what I mean? Hey, I ain't got no suit on. I get to just talk. It's all good. It's all good.
Shit.
Quarter.
He's pulling a stick out of his ass tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, bro?
Oh damn.
What up, bro? What up, bro? Hey, they might listen to the Joffy over here. Shit, ask that nigga what's up on this AOM 2 over in this motherfucker. Ask him about that. Man, right. Stick. Right, talk some more shit. Right, you know what I mean? What up, P?
He just Daffy Ducked you.
What up, P?
Man, not much, man. What you listening to now?
So, blow that shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been listening to that motherfucking AZ and David East like a motherfucker. I've been listening to that AZ. I've been listening to.
Man, it is so fuck. It's like a warm blanket.
Man, bro, you
Getting
know what
some
I'm
fresh
saying? I've been
AZ.
bumping that AZ like a motherfucker, bro. Yeah, all day.
Oh, that chill dope man shit. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, of course, my favorite Nasir. I've been bumping that.
hey, Rick Ross owes a lot to AZ.
Or let's just say they got a good mutual relationship because you know, like, I will say this: I've heard a lot of folks, personally and publicly, be like, I can dump him, I can give him the shit and leave it alone, and he know what to do with it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't expect that from him.
From A?
No, from Rick Ross.
From Ross.
Because I mean, my lens is different. I
Well, you know, you realize he was Teflon to Don.
But bro,
on the Def Jam
bro, I'm gonna take it back a little bit. When I was living in Tampa, this is like 2006. It's like 2006 and shit. There was a couple cats in my complex. I was living in Tampa. That was with the Booby Gang. They was talking about Booby Gang. And they was talking about this dude named Rick Ross. Like a crap. I'm like, nigga, okay, right on. You know what I mean? Like, dope. A couple years later, you see, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see what it is and shit. But I've been appreciative of the fact that I've been able to see that organic and then that big boy, right? You know what I mean? And like cats have been saying the same thing consistently. So to hear him on that AZ, right? To see his sketch on the canvas, that shit was on time, right? But you got Lil Wayne on there. That's a nice little canvas sketch on there too. David East on that mug. I love the bulletproof joint, the chick joint that he got. You know what I mean? Like that really go hard. You know what I mean? That shit dope, man. Non-serious shit is dope. What else I've been listening to, man?
The more I listen to the Nas shit, the more I'm willing to call it a classic.
No, that's just there. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. He my favorite.
I mean,
He's always got a couple. He always got like one or two that I'm like, I bet if you'd have had somebody else make a decision-making space, there's probably two other songs you could have put on instead of them two. You know what I mean? But outside it, because I mean, this nigga made a song of B cuts, and that shit go hard.
But it's damn near front to back.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's damn near front to back.
Damn near.
Yeah, I still, fuck it. I still, don't like Lauryn Hill's one line.
What was that?
People out here complaining about my late.
I'm busy saving souls, but you complaining about my lateness. Yeah, because I live in the real world where I have to be at work in about.
Man, here y'all go. Here y'all, hey, bro.
Hey, you might have saved a few more souls a few hours ago.
Listen.
You could have saved some souls at the after party.
Listen, when you show up, you on time.
Hey, they was trying to clown about Erica this week. Was she like?
Yeah, how was the show? Hey, bro, okay, I'm gonna say this, bro. This ain't popular because I already took it popular. The reason why I didn't go to the Erica show this past couple days ago, because I went to that last one, and I left feeling like, what the fuck was that?
No, it's down at Sprint Center.
Yeah, bro. Like, listen, I understand creative interpolation and artistic expression, but at some point, I just need you to play the music that you already made, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Hey,
You trying to take it left and right, up and down.
Hey, bro, she do a lot of psychedelics now.
Bro,
Come on now.
bro.
Come on now.
I'm cool on it. I'm just saying that this is me.
She Black Janis Joplin.
I'm cool on it.
Well,
I'll play the
Black
CD.
Janis Joplin and Joan Jett.
I'll play the
I
CD.
think
Let me
that,
date myself. I'll
you
play the
couldn't
CD.
call her Black Janis Joplin simply because she made it past 25.
Yes.
I mean, and here's what's crazy though. When you are as creative and as musically inclined as you are, I'm not asking you to take us back. But you shouldn't take us to a place where we don't know where the fuck we at either. And that's how I felt leaving the last show. Like, cosmically, sonically, right? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of strokes is that on the canvas? What hue is that? What hue of blue? I know that's a blue, but what hue of blue is that? I can't fuck with that.
Hold on, you gotta remember she's also been almost doing this for like almost 30 years.
Listen, Bob Ross get on the screen.
Bob Ross dead.
Bob Ross get on the screen.
He's not getting on the screen.
Shit, Bob Ross been dead about 30 years.
Fuck all of y'all. Bob Ross get on the screen. You know what I'm saying? And you know he about to put this big ass tree in the middle of the picture that don't go. And you be like, did that nigga put 3 more? That shit dope. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro.
But we already knew she was gonna have some kind of interpretive phase, some kind of. I wouldn't even say she's like based off of
the documentary on this.
the Tiny Desk concert. I say she's like kind of in almost like an acid jazz phase. You know what I mean?
I can't call it acid. Jazz. I just call it
she's
acid.
hot.
It just acid. Yeah, it just acid, my nigga. Glenn,
There are drugs.
Glenn, I'm an orange moon.
I'm not.
Hold on. I'm an orange moon reflecting the light of the sun. It's dope. But when the sonic don't match the spectacular vernacular, I got a problem. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And I will take the unpopular opinion, because she can be like, well, nigga, you didn't buy a ticket. You right, I didn't. I stayed the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I still support you. You still dope in the motherfucker, but I don't be disappointed. I don't want to hear that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I went to the show. I'm just being honest, bro. I went to the show, and I was like, nigga, I get to go see the queen, bro. And I walked out feeling like, nigga, I don't know what that was, nigga. You know what I mean? And I should not feel like that, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you went to go watch a drug show, man.
I ain't gonna touch that one. I'm gonna leave that where it is. I'm gonna just say where I was.
I mean, that is like going to a Grateful Dead show and be like, there's a lot of LSD around here.
But I don't fuck around with them drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't my shit. I don't fuck with, hey, bro, I don't fuck with Tony. You know, I'm not on that Montana. I don't do that. That's not my thing. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Oh, man.
I'm not on that Montana.
You know what?
I believe people are on hallucinogens here.
This is probably good a time as any
Let us make haste.
before somebody do something or say something that is gonna get somebody in some trouble.
Quarter, Glenn, what
All
up?
right, so
Kid Folk, what up?
I'm sorry.
so wanna
Jay Riddock in the house if we didn't say that earlier.
Already.
take time to thank Godson for coming through tonight, hanging out with us.
Man, thank y'all for having me, bro. Hey, again, attitude of gratitude, man. Like, I'm very, very, very enthused, proud of the Lawnarchy movement. You know what I mean? Keep pushing any way I can support. I will do that. I think it's important for us to have our own canvas, our own space, to not only present our art, but also have the space to interpret it and interpolate it, right? Because understanding that in this instrument, these are the notes. but in this instrument, these are the notes, but it's still the same music, right? And I think it's important to have a space where you can communicate that. So I appreciate y'all brothers doing what y'all doing, man. Keep that up, man. Real talk.
Well, you
Salute.
know, just it's just a spot for me to talk some shit. To be honest with you, other than that, I don't really know what's going on.
Shout out Uncle Nearest and Uncle Ruckus. You know what I'm saying? Shout out.
Yes, sir.
Hey, shout out fucking Carl Winslow.
Oh, man. I put that
California
nigga
hero,
in the bed.
okay?
I told you I put that nigga
California,
in the bed, bro.
the
I
victor.
swear to God. I swear to God, I put that nigga in the bed, bro. And you wasn't reading
The
that
victor of Nakatomi Tower, okay? The champion of Nakatomi Tower.
Man,
They made him Shogun after that.
And what movie?
Hey, but real talk. Let's hope hip hop die harder than Bruce Willis. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That was
real
the
talk,
continued canon after the release. Like between Die Hard and Die Hard 2, Carl
That
Winslow
nigga's
went into the
fucking
witness
Costco right
went
now.
into the witness protection program to Chicago and decided to hide in plain sight
He working at Costco.
by remaining in service.
I swear to God. He's working at the Sam's Club right now in the seafood section.
Bumping that best of both worlds.
Thank you for your service, officer.
chips.
so if you're getting out and about this weekend, soul service tomorrow night down at a Blip Roastery, 8 p.m.
Yeah, you got the Truce Festival.
The Trustival.
Yeah, Trucival. Shout out Eddie Moore. You know what I'm saying? We the people.
You had to look that one up because I remember, but I can't remember where it is exactly. I want to say it's down at the Hy-Vee Arena.
I think it's downtown, like Power and White somewhere.
Is that the fuck is going on down there?
Truce. Why you say that shit, bro? How you say that?
Trustival.
Trucival. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Marcus Lewis, Kadesh Flow, Kemet, Eddie Moore, Zach Morrow, you know what I mean? Folks coming down there. Of course, we said Soul Servers at the other spot.
Tomorrow will also be the last night of A Company of Wayward Saints at the Longview Black Box Theater.
Wayward Saints already.
Progeny will be doing her thing.
Mm-hmm. Much respect.
All right, so I would put this stuff in the comments, but by the time I put this up on YouTube, all this shit will be over with. So,
Yeah.
you know, go out there, live life, enjoy the moment, put your phone down, take a couple of pictures, and then use your mind, use your mental pictures,
And keep creating. Yo, give us that art, man. Give us those creative expressions. You know what I mean? Share. Right?
And have the courage.
don't share all of it.
And have the courage to serve
For sure.
like Officer Winslow.
And on that note,
Oh,
appreciate
God bless
y'all.
America.
T. Holla,
no
y'all.
place else.
Peace.
Appreciate everybody tuning
Los
in.
Angeles Police Department.
Literally could have been anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to spend a couple hours with us. And on behalf of Carl Winslow,
Not.
if you don't like it, straight up, eat a dick. Peace.
Peace.
Winslow.